Sculpture is all about space. What excites me about a project like this is the numerous ways I can approach it, to circumnavigate, to enter it, to see how the light does these beautiful things through the slats. Really successful public art provokes curiosity and imagination in that way. From the very beginning, we knew we had public art opportunities integrated into the site. We really try to find avenues where we can work with the overall programming and functionality of the spaces they're creating. We learned pretty quickly that a lot of that programming, we focus on pollinators.
It was to be part of the public art collection of Mecklenburg County, but at the same time satisfies these kind of functional requirements. It had to be essentially a play structure as well as a starting point for exploration into nature-driven programming.
Recite has a sensitivity to working with specific programs. They understand nested hives, a part of Eastway Regional Recreation Center and the surrounding greenways.
We make connections to themes, ideas, and aspects of the site. People may be traveling similar routes every day, going about their daily lives. We want the art to somehow kind of awaken them to their environment.
The theme of pollinators and a celebration of bees was woven into the architecture and the interior design. That extends out into the pollinator garden in the back.
When we understood this piece as being part of a pollinator garden, this idea of hives and structures made by bees, hornets, and wasps really started to factor into our thinking.
We looked at the chambers and the striations inside of this usually hidden world that bees make. The violet hues, deep blues, the cyans, the yellows are the most attractive to bees. The colors have enabled specific wildflowers to thrive because they're getting more pollinated.
The story of the recreational center itself had a multicultural aspect to it. The crafts and the artwork of those cultures dovetailed nicely with how wasps and hornets create their nests.
Norman and Shane were interested in craft traditions of basketry and the similarities of form to a hive or a nest.
Wasps and hornets take various fibers and materials that are kind of layered in a way that almost looked like a quilting pattern.
Anytime you begin to approach an architectural space in terms of artwork, that line demarcating, is it art or is it a functional space, begins to blur. We have to take into account certain regulations that you wouldn't normally contend with if it were standalone artwork. Their project management, design, and fabrication team, Metal Lab, also has a branch that deals strictly with architecture.
They're architects by training. They have engineering expertise. In Merge Studio are installers. So they're the team that's really on the ground, problem solving, taking all the pieces of installation and putting it together. So they bring this wealth of craftsmanship that we really value.
It's been a good fit, collaborating both with Recite and Metal Lab. We can always get things done on a surprisingly large scale.
The way the projects work is the artist comes with the idea to our studio. They typically give us images of what their vision is. We focus in material research, hands-on assembly. At one point, the artist actually sculpted a hive that I had to measure to make sure that the parametric form I had composed was close to what she had.
We wanted this to feel created by nature and not computer-driven, and so we made a clay model by hand. This enabled us to get in touch with the form and understand the scale and the proportions, and we can incorporate it into a 3D model.
Iterations that took place in terms of form and color and materiality were quite numerous.
I appreciate seeing it at different stages, whether it's a CNC shop or paint shop, and then just seeing it all come together is fulfilling.
A lot of the strength of public art is the process. We're involved with county staff, design consultants. There's a lot of collaboration early on. Really great artists like Recite, they know the direction they should head into and then just navigate other people's thoughts, feelings, sometimes really hard parameters that we have to meet.
Everybody seemed to be coming from the same place in terms of how we see art, how we see these public spaces. All that collaboration created something that captures this surreal sense of wonderment.